Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you. We got a lady that has covered everything. She's a full-time college student working on her master's in human development and counseling. We could use a little bit of that here on the show. She owns Sizzling Media and Events, Bastrop Photography.
Photography.
Photography. I must keep going. A co-host on Weekly Talk Show with Bastrop.
Why do you
Mayor.
keep getting people smarter than you on?
Because I like to be.
Well, that's almost everybody.
Well, you do anyway. This is unreal. But anyway, she's got a brand new book out that we're going to be talking about. And everything else we got. Miss T.J. Finn, how are you, girl?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Oh, Lord, I just keep on talking about all the stuff that you're doing. Do you ever got any downtime?
You know, when I wrote the list to you and you asked me what I did after I was done, I was tired.
I can imagine. That's right.
Golly.
Ooh, Lord of mercy.
This kind of becomes normal, you know, after a while when you're so busy and you got that fast pace, you don't realize how much you really do. You know, it's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. You know, we're actually going to take off. Me and my wife, we're going on a road trip next week. And, you know, it takes about 3 or 4 days for your brain to settle down where you can actually start enjoying yourself, you know, because you
Absolutely.
You're always wide open. But anyway, tell us, got a book. Y'all go to tjfinnauthor.com, and she's got all her information here. But, you know, this book, you know, that you've got out there is a Dinosaur in My Whirlpool Bath, which is it's a book that you've wrote about raising your grandchild. Can you tell us a little bit about how that all started?
So, unfortunately, last summer,
Right.
well, we'll go back March of last year, my daughter was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma cancer. She's 26 years old.
Right.
You know, you think of melanoma cancer and you think of skin cancer, and you're going to know, you know, it's very curable all the way up to stage 3,
Right.
you know, some in stage 4. But unfortunately, Tiffany started internally, so there were no warnings, you know, and that tells you why it's so important for you to have regular checkups, because sometimes you don't know, you don't get that warning, you know, unless you look a little deeper, right?
Right.
And so she was diagnosed with the cancer on March 19th, and by June 15th, she was gone.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, girl. You know, our hearts and prayers are with you, because I cannot imagine losing a child. I know what you must have went through with that. I mean, honestly, we really, yeah.
It was very whirlwind. We, you know, really honestly barely had time to catch my breath.
Right.
When the time she was diagnosed, because it was fight. And it's such an aggressive cancer. It just, you know, it metastasized immediately, you know, to the brain, to the lungs, to the breasts, you know, everywhere. And, you know, it was rough. And, you know, when Tiffany got sick, she said, Mom, I want you and Mike, which is her stepdad, to raise Liam. And of course, you know, the answer was absolutely yes, you know, if anything happens, but you're not, during that time, you're not thinking in that mode. You're thinking, you know, you're praying for a miracle.
Absolutely.
You know, and so once Tiffany passed away, of course, we, you know, stepped in immediately. We were fortunate enough to barely have enough time to get all the paperwork, everything together that we needed to happen. But about 2 weeks after Tiffany passed away, I had put Liam to bed, and I went in. I was going to run me a hot bath like I, you know, normally do. That's how all this stress I go through, that's how I relax. So I went into the Whirlpool bath, and I reached down into the bottom, and there was a dinosaur. And I said, I can't do this. I'm old. I can't raise kids. I went through that whole poor little pitiful me. Oh no, I can't. What do I do? It's a different world than when my kids grew up. I have 8 children.
Wow.
And I would like to say I didn't strangle one of them, so I think I did okay.
When I got Sherry right here, there's a couple of hers we wondering about.
I tell you, I had 5 teenagers at one time, so it was a little stayed there for a bit. But we got through it. But they're all grown, and it was a different world that they grew up in. I mean, things are so different now than they were. And, you know, it's very different when you're raising your child versus raising someone else's child, because there's legalities involved. There's things you don't know. You know, and I sat down there on the side of the tub, and I had me a really good cry. And I said, what I need is a lot of really good resources, you know. And after a while, I was like, wow, if I'm in this position, how many other people are in this same position where they're raising their grandchild or they're raising someone else's child,
Right.
and they need these same resources. And so that's how the book came about.
Right. Well, that's, I never think about something like that. You never think about having to raise somebody else's child and then like the resources. So now there's the book about, is it a story about as far as you raising your grandchild, or is it more of a go-to information style book?
Well, it is, I've always heard that you should teach a man to fish, not give a man a fish.
Right.
So that's really what the book does. So it talks a little bit about my story and what I'm going through. But it talks mainly about how you can get these resources that you need in your situation.
It's kind of a directory, right? I mean,
Yeah, it
in a
really is.
sense,
And
yeah.
there's thousands of resources. There's an entire resource directory in the book.
Right.
Thousands of resources. They're by state, by topic.
Well, that was my next question, because you're in Texas, and how does this reach out to people in other states? So that's amazing. Really.
Yeah, so it's different in every state, the resources. So I actually, when I decided to do the book, I went state by state and said, okay, if I live in Georgia, what do I need to know versus if I live in Texas, and then if I live in Hawaii or Wyoming. So there is a state directory with resources by state, and then there's a lot of resources that are, national resources, and they apply to everyone, and those are by topic. So yeah, I think it's really well laid out. I actually had someone tell me that, look, this is the guide they should give you in the hospital when you have a baby, and go, here you go. This is how you do it.
That's it. Because when you have a kid, they don't give you no directions.
There's no instructions.
No.
You have to take a test to drive a
They
car,
give you
but
a
you
box
just
of-
get a baby.
They
yeah.
give you a box of diapers and send you out the door and say, make sure
They
you pay at
do,
the
yeah.
front.
Well,
like-
and to that point, I was going to say this. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of grandparents raising grandchildren and people raising
really?
children that are not their children. But this could be good for any parent,
Oh, absolutely.
that's looking for some help, resources. So, yeah.
I'm wondering if you could make a variation on this. This is the other Steve, because in this age of millennials and kids living at home with their parents, there's undoubtedly a situation where you've got your kids and maybe even your grandkids. So you could kind of change the title and relate it to grandparents raising their kids and grandkids at home that refuse to leave. You just change the title a little bit.
I know,
and you could sell that too.
Packy's mom would be all about that, I guarantee you.
How about my kids came back
Yeah.
again?
Yeah,
Look at all the ways you can take this.
yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, they tend to do that, don't they? Not only do they come back, they bring people with them.
Right? How unfair is that?
I mean, Packy moved next door, and his mom still goes across and cuts the crust off of his sandwiches.
There it is.
Goodness.
So TJ, what was the big? I mean, you in this situation where you're raising this grandchild, you've raised 8 kids prior to this. Obviously, there's this, as you've determined here, and you've written a book about. There's this major learning curve. There is a difference that you sat there and you looked at this, and you're like, you know what? This is not only a struggle for me, but this is a major learning curve, and this is worthy of writing about. What would you say if you had to list maybe 1 or 2 things? What is the major difference being in the situation you are now that somebody that finds himself, unfortunately, in that same situation needs to know about, needs to read your book to find out about? What is the big difference?
Sure. So in my personal experience, a couple of things I came across is, when you raise your children, you know what they're allergic to.
Right.
You know every, thing of that nature. When you take over somebody else's child, you may not know that. And I found myself in that situation. Because my situation happened so fast, I'm like, what if he's allergic to this, or what if he's allergic to that sort of thing? And that's something you're not going to think about, because I certainly didn't.
And how old was he when you got in this situation? Because that makes a difference.
4.
Too.
4
Yeah.
years old. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he couldn't tell me.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Nanny, I'm allergic to peanut butter. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and
At that
And-
age, it's like all I'm allowed to eat is ice cream.
exactly, or chicken nuggets. I mean, this kid, I'm like, you cannot live on chicken nuggets alone.
Oh,
you know?
Lord.
Now,
Folks,
my son can. That's exactly what he eats.
Oh,
TJ
they do. And cereal. Cereal.
TJFriendAuthor.com. You can go and get the book right there on that. But this is really amazing. Now, you've got another thing that I want to touch on before we get going, sizzlingmedia.com, which is absolutely, I reckon over the weekend, man, you were hanging out with one of my buddies, which I think is absolutely cool, Joel Saunier.
Oh, yeah. He's great. What a great guy. I tell you, I learned to dance to Joel Saunier, so I was quite happy that he came and did our Sizzling Summer Nights concert series.
Right.
We've had an amazing lineup for this series. Barry Rogers, who's my press agent, who hooked me up with you, who's also my partner in crime. And we put together this concert series, and it's just absolutely been a blast.
Oh, that's cool, man. That looked like a good time. You had Bob Mullen in there, and then Joel Saunier. You've got another one coming up, and man, I love this kind of stuff. Yeah.
We kicked it off with Bo Bice from American Idol. Bo Bice,
Oh, I love Bo Bice.
Jay Edwards, who just
Jay's
that boy's man, he's going straight to the top.
he's a rock star, no doubt.
Phenomenal, yeah, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And my own granddaughter, Winter Dawn, she opened for Jay Edwards, and I have to say she was pretty good.
That would be tough. That would be tough going on after her, honestly. I mean, you know, because I'm just thinking about your daughter, and then I'm thinking about how Jay Edwards looks. No. His physique just ain't there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Hey, you need to be careful over there.
Yeah, I know it.
I love your event planning business, though. You know, we are in a relatively small community up here that we're broadcasting to. I mean, it's over the course of, you know, basically 3 counties, let's say. And you're, Bastard's about 9,000 people or so? Something like that. And so I think that's a great business model you have. And
but they're close to Austin. They're close to
somebody
Austin.
needs to emulate it right where we are. But I was, you know, reading through all that you do. You also do things for businesses, correct? You go in there and you kind of analyze their kind of their I guess their corporate message, or how you can direct that and make it better from a marketing standpoint. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we work with a lot of business. I'm also the director of the Bastrop County Business Owners Association, and so creating these events like we do through social media, it helps enhance, you know, businesses as well, because they have opportunities to market and so forth. So for the Sizzling Summer Nights concert series, we have Garage Oil Spirits, which is hopefully will be in Georgia before you know it. But this guy's phenomenal. It's called American Badass Whiskey.
Right.
And oh my goodness, guys, that stuff is dangerous. I'm just saying. So it gives them an opportunity to bring their products, you know, to that market as well. And that guy, Ron Stone, he's a hoot, I tell you. But it's a lot of fun to be able to work with businesses and, you know, marketing. My undergrad degree is in communications and marketing. And so I really enjoyed that, along with the other 9,000 things that I do.
You're a radio host as well.
I mean, honestly, she does it all,
Yeah.
man. You need to move to Georgia. We need to put you on out here.
Well, I was recently in Georgia. I was just on vacation, and we kind of toured around everywhere. Went up to the Smoky Mountains and went through Georgia. It was a lot of fun.
What part of Georgia was you in?
We were just, you know, and I don't remember exactly the town, but just to the edge, and we were real tickled. We were like, oh, we're in Georgia. We didn't even realize it at first, so we were real excited about that. On my bucket list is I want to come see the Georgia Guidestones.
Hey, they blowed them up.
They blew them up.
They're gone.
What?
They're gone.
It was like 2 weeks ago. It was
They
a
blowed
topic
them
on
up.
our radio show.
Yeah, somebody snuck in and blowed them up.
Are you serious?
Yep, they're done.
Heartbroken.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking our heart over here in Texas.
But I got a buddy of mine got a moonshine still. I can show you that.
Oh, well, I'll take that. Moonshine's good too. I love it.
Oh Lord, this next now you got another series coming up here in another day or two in August the 20th, I think.
For the you're talking about the nonfiction series?
I'm talking about the Sizzling Summer Nights you got going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, August 20th. Yeah. So we have Allie Colleen, Aaron Lacombe, Brody Castor, and the White Ellis Band.
Wow.
They're going to be performing here. It's our end of the Sizzling Summer series, and we are really excited. We're saying it's like an Americana Red Dirt Road country music kick off into fall because we are ready for some fall around here. It's
I'm
so
with you.
hot.
I don't know, man. I like the hot weather. Folks, we're talking to
You
TJ
know,
Finn.
you don't know the hot she's talking about.
That's
TJ
because you're
Finn.
in Georgia, not Texas.
TJFinnauthor.com. TJ Finn. And then the sizzlingmedia.com. You've got all kinds of stuff going on, but anyway, but that's Joel Saunier. He sent me one of his CDs the other day, and I got it. And I called him. I said, "Man, I can't understand a word of this because it's all in French, man. The new CDs, guys, Prato." He's a mess. Yeah, he is definitely a mess.
Wonderful. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, but this is a very cool book, and I'm glad you come on with us because there's a lot of folks out there like even raising their grandkids, and you never know where you're going to be at with that. But there is a dinosaur in my Whirlpool bath, and that's that first question I was going to ask. How did you come up with that title? But we actually know now.
We know
which
now.
is pretty funny. Yeah, pretty funny.
My question is, does it have a belly button?
Oh, he's got a story. Dinosaurs
dinosaur
have belly
story.
buttons.
I'm not going to check, but if you check, you let me know.
There you go. I'm with you, girl. We got to get to a break. Golly, what a great time I've had talking to you. I guarantee you. But anyway, we'll get you back on. I mean, you got so much stuff going on. We need to talk about the radio and all the other stuff going on.
The other books.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.